We want to go over now to Tom Rogers, who is out on location this morning. He is at West North Avenue and North Woodyear. Police are gathering there this morning. Is this the National Guard, Tom, that we're seeing, or is this still local police?
Hey, good morning, Patrice. No, what we have seen has been state troopers. Now, Carroll County has a SWAT truck. It's off in your distance. It's about 2 blocks away right now. You see some other news crews set up down there. It's a perimeter that they set around on North Avenue and Woodbury. They've blocked that off. None of the officers there are speaking with us right now. However, when we arrived, it was very quiet. The only thing that you could hear, every once in a while, a car traveling by, riding on broken shard glass all throughout the area and trash and debris. And then you heard scraping noises. That's why I'm down at North and Fulton Avenue. I want to show you what's going on here. And this is what happened since yesterday afternoon. There are some people on their own coming down because they live in the neighborhood cleaning up these piles. CJ, if you can get a shot of what they're cleaning up. This is the debris that they're sweeping up, digging through all the trash and glass. Just 2 blocks away from where they had all of the task force are set up. And so they continue to sweep up as cars just drive through, taking looks at it. You can also see some piles of burnt out debris in there. If you take a look over here at this one Easy Mart, this is the scene from yesterday. There was some looting going on in that section right there. But the gentlemen that I spoke with that are behind me shoveling debris right now and sweeping up some things, they have a message that they want to tell the city today. They said, you know what, the violence is over. It's cleanup today. And if you really want to save Baltimore, show up here, bring your broomsticks, bring your shovels, and clean up the debris and make this city and their neighborhood that they live in back to the way that it's supposed to be. They're angry, and they have a message. I'm going to talk to them the next time I speak with you. Back to you, Patrice.
All right, we saw scenes of that yesterday. It was heartbreaking to watch one woman come out of her house while it was just being ravaged all around her and start trying to clean up because they live there. This is what they have to endure day in and day out. They can't escape from these riots.
That's exactly it, Patrice. I know that I just have to move aside from some vehicles right now. But I've spoken with them, and they say they are gang members. However, they are not the problem here. They want to find out. They want to make sure that Baltimore is seen in a better light here, and that the gang members that police say were involved with this is not true. There was no organization behind this, and they're going to talk to me a little bit about that as soon as we get this, are able to pull them back over here. I'll get them, and I'll hear their message for the rest of the city.
And it's very interesting to hear you say that because we heard so many times from Commissioner Betts yesterday and from others that there was an organized effort by gangs to get out there and cause problems and actually, as the commissioner put it, take out police officers. So to hear this perspective this morning is very interesting. We'll be interested in what they have to say. So we'll check back in with you, Tom. Thank you. Well, late last night,
earlier, but I want to show you something on why they're cleaning up. Take a look at this. A lot of businesses, just like Oxford Tavern here, put down these steel doors to make sure that the looting doesn't happen. It didn't work. Take a look right now over here. We're going to walk inside the store now. This used to be a glass pane. CJ, if you could be careful walking in here. Let me just show you what's inside. What's the aftermath of the looters that as they went through this tavern. Bulletproof glass. Didn't matter. They broke through it, went through, stole everything off the shelves. Watch out, there's some sharp glass here. And the smell of alcohol is overwhelming, really, when you come in here. But if you can, show the floor just a little bit, CJ. Let's see what we're walking through here. Just empty bottles, wood, tiles from floors, and pieces of the wall. There was obviously a lottery machine that was been pilfered too, and they didn't even bother busting the locks. They broke the glass and went through. This is where the tavern was, the bar where you can sit and just go order drinks. The mirror in there, CJ, if you can pop in there, there's still some neon signs lit up in here as everything is just stripped clean and bottles on the floor. Now, if you come back behind me here, one last thing for you, Patrice, I want to show you something too. We discovered, wasn't sure what this was from in here. I wasn't sure if it was an alarm system or not, but you can see still tools left over from trying to rip apart certain pieces of this in the back of a ATM machine. This is what was stripped through. So somebody was working on this for quite some time. As you see, bent metal. There's still tools on the ground left over from where they were trying to work on that ATM machine, pulling it all open, stripped down the outside, the front of it. Now, I was outside earlier when we were cleaning up with the crew. They were cleaning up all the glass off of the corner. I want to show you who showed up since we last spoke. city crews just showed up about 5 minutes ago. They're helping out Terry and his buddy Johnson there, now cleaning up the piles that they've been sweeping up since 2:30. So some relief there. We're getting back to some normalcy as the sun is starting to show a little bit of light as we look over at North Avenue. Back to you, Patrice.
Tom, I just want to go back to that tavern for a minute, because to see what you're showing us in there, there is absolutely nothing left in there. There is nothing on any of those shelves. And I'm sure yesterday that was a fully stocked business. Yeah, nothing there today.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, you can see how fast they went through. They busted out this steel door. I mean, you can see the owners had taken a lot of time, spent a lot of money trying to secure this establishment, but it didn't matter. Pried off the steel bars here, padlocks ripped apart, and then went through all the coolers. The cooler lights are still up. The coolers are still working, too. I mean, it's not like there's no electricity in here. There's one bottle left. So one bottle that they weren't able to grab in the back here. Some Boone's Fuzzy Navel back there, and a Modelo 16 ounce, just to give you a perspective that certain things were left behind, but piles of bottles and glass. And this is just one establishment. All four corners were looted here. We have other crews that are out here too that just showed up. They're getting some other shots of different places too, of the other establishments that were looted. But the smell of alcohol and smoke is still left, and it's almost like the end of a war zone here, as people just came through here, grabbed what they could, and took off back out of here.
Well, and I spoke to one police officer yesterday, a friend of mine. I was checking in with a couple of them that I know throughout the day to make sure that they were okay, and that's what he said. He said, I feel like I'm back in Iraq. He said, I feel like we are in a war zone. And as we watched the video yesterday, you were mentioning all four corners. At the intersection where you do have the four corners and the stores on each corner, people were just going in and out. There was no stopping them. There was no, there wasn't a lot of police presence, or a lot that police could do at that point, I suppose. They were just going in and out, having their way with these people's businesses and livelihood.
That's right, Patrice. We heard Commissioner Batts say in that announcement they were just outnumbered and outflanked, and that's exactly what happened here. They had to pick their battles. North and Fulton was just one that they had to let go, and this is what we're seeing, the aftermath of it, as ATMs, just walls ripped apart, and this is what it looks like. This is what the aftermath of looting looks like inside just one establishment, and this is just a few hours. I mean, just looking down, every time we look down, we see something different. There's a part of a baseball bat that was probably used at one point, either, and you can see it here. And then this is the remainder of a door that was on the back of that ATM. The lock's still there, but they just went right through the door.
And Tommy, you were showing
just
how I mean, there were efforts to keep this store secure. When you see those gates up, you normally think, all right, well, people aren't going to be able to get in here. So this wasn't just an opportunity. Right. They saw a store and, okay, it's we can easily get in here. There was time and effort and intent on getting into that store to loot it and rob it and leave it in a shambles.
They had time. They knew they had time. There was no rush, really. I think there was a panic at first, but then people said they took their time. I mean, this is the back end of a hammer handle here. And CJ, I don't know if you could get a close shot of this, but look at how thick this glass is. This is one of those turntables where you order what you want from the cashier, and they spin it around and put it right there. So, yeah, Patrice, it's just every time you look around, there's something else that stands out that just is mind-blowing, really.
And that's why they said this was not about protesting. This was not about Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray was buried, put to rest yesterday. His family wanted peace. His family wanted calm. This was not about him. This was, as people are saying, this was more about lawlessness and just opportunistic people taking advantage of what's a tragic situation for the city. It's just a sad day for Baltimore.
Yeah, Patrice, I know that last night when they came out with the state of the emergency, and the mayor was actually speaking at MEMA. The end of that and the beginning of that, right when we had our governor speak too. The governor was standing there a little bit later on at MEMA, and he was standing there with Major General Singh. And it was very interesting because one of the very first things she said was she mentioned martial law. And that's what really got everyone's ears abuzz when she said martial law. If this had continued for a few more hours, we may see martial law here in Baltimore. We are not under that, but it is a possibility, which is just unbelievably scary. As we're speaking, there's some burnout cars that are driving down North Avenue on the back of tow trucks. I mean, it's just no matter which direction you look, Patrice, you see something else that just, you can't even explain it. You just have to see it.
Something else that we should not be seeing in our city that is not representative of Baltimore. All right, Tom, thank you.
Just a few minutes ago, they were pulling out. They had no support. They left it open. One thing they did warn us, they said, if you are going inside, watch the roof. I want to show you this real quick. They said it's very unsafe in here. We're not going to go all the way through, but let's walk in and just see what is happening at this CVS here. Glass all over, and you see large amounts of water still remain from the fire department here. You're starting to see a little bit of the gypsum board or wall board here. Now, they're saying that looters actually came through this gate on the sides. It's been out down at the bottom. The fire crew cut a hole through this so they could see and get in here, get their equipment, move in and out. As you take a step here, it's probably about 1 inch to 2 inches thick of soot. But CJ, if you could bend down just a little bit too as you come across here, watch your head up here on this metal that's hanging down. I just want to show one last thing here. There you go. Can you take a look over, see what happened with the roof? They're saying the remainder of this CVS, this is what's going to happen to the remainder of the roof because of the heat there. They were out here last night. They had to come back out again this morning because they think that the charcoal reignited that was in here. They don't think it was reset. They just think it was a hot spot that reignited in the charcoal portion of it. That's when they came through the front door and have been working on the roof ever since. Just it's still awestruck at the destruction that occurred here at Franklin and Evergreen. Reporting for Fox 45 News, Tom Rogers.
All right, let's go out to Tom Rogers, who is out on location this morning. He is in the West Baltimore area with a look at what is happening there now. A lot of cleanup in a lot of places. But, Tom, what is it that you're seeing?
Yeah, Patrice, we showed up here because we followed that ladder truck. Last time I spoke with you is what brought us this CVS on Fayette and Evergreen. Since then, we were left alone at that point once the fire crew left. I walked inside the front of the store to take a look at that. Since we last spoke, a lot of people have been beginning to show up. In fact, you can see right now what they're doing. Starting to clear out what's left inside that back alleyway. And they're starting to pick and choose whatever they can, what's left inside the store. Let me show you something real quick. CJ's going to follow me over here to the pharmacy. You can see what they wanted out of this store is on the pharmacy. All the shelves are burnt right here, but there's not that much that's left in here in this pharmacy. There's about 2 inches of water inside this back door of this CVS. However, all the shelves inside the CVS are completely full. ATM, pharmacy, the two things they really wanted, the two areas that they burn out, all the registers are ripped apart too. That's what they wanted here. They left a lot of trash out here on the back parking lot. As you see a look at the back of this, the dumpster was set ablaze. Also, next door, there's a chicken store next door, and down below this hill, there are 2 burnout cars, completely burnt out. We're going to see if we can make it over there for you real quick as we walk through it. So we're just about to run out of room here with our cord, though. We're just out of room here, CJ, so you got to stop. You see that car in the distance? That's one burnout, but the one right below us, right below this shot right here, completely burnt out. I tweeted that out a little bit earlier, so Patrice, though, a lot more people showing up here to see what they can get out of this CVS, because right now, there's no police, nobody in authority here.
It's just amazing that that's the second CVS. I mean, that so much damage. It's just amazing to see that. Tom, thank you. Well, looting across the